With just about a month to go for the much-awaited Dogman Book 11 to be released, Dogman and Captain Underpants is going to be in the same book, and it is coming soon. Yes, you heard it right. And in this video, I am going to share some details on the book and a sneak peek of the book to be released on 7th March 2023. Hi friends, welcome to my channel Amazing World of Archee. Today we will take a sneak peek at the special edition of Captain Underpants featuring Captain Underpants and Dogman in the same book. I share the announcement of this book in this video. You will find a link in the description below. Now, before we begin with further details of the book, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed yet. Celebrate the 25th and a half anniversary of The Adventures of Captain Underpants with a special edition featuring a brand new 32-page Dogman comic. George and Harold are best friends who enjoy making their own comic books. Together, they've created the greatest superhero in the history of their elementary school, Captain Underpants. His true identity is so secret, even he doesn't know who he is. Tra-lalaaaaa, it can't miss fun. After the Captain Underpants adventure, join George and Harold as they shared their never-before-seen 32-page bonus comics, Captain Underpants meets Dogman and Dogman and the League of Misfits. The Adventures of Captain Underpants is the first book in the worldwide best-selling Captain Underpants series by Dav Pilkey, the author and illustrator of the Dogman and Cat Kid Comic Club graphic novel series. Now let's take a look at the first few pages of the book. The Adventures of Captain Underpants 25 and a half anniversary edition with all new Dogman comic, the first epic novel by Dav Pilkey. Chapters 1. George and Harold. 2. Treehouse Comics Incorporated. 3. The Adventures of Captain Underpants. 4. Mean Old Mr. Krupp. 5. One Day Very, Very Soon. 6. Busted. 7. A Little Blackmail. 8. Crime and Punishment. 9. 46 Weeks Later. 10. The 3D Hypnoring. 11. Fun with Hypnosis. 12. Out the Window. 13. Bank Robbers. 14. The Big Bang. 15. Dr. Diaper. 16. The incredibly graphic violence chapter in Flippy-Rama. 17. The Escape. 18. To make a long story short. 19. Back to School. 20. The End? The Origin of Captain Underpants. Bonus Comics. Fun Facts. Chapter 1. George and Harold. Meet George Beard and Harold Hutchins. George is the kid on the left with the tie and the flat top. Harold is the one on the right with the t-shirt and the bad haircut. Remember that now. George and Harold were best friends. They had a lot in common. They lived right next door to each other, and they were both in the same 4th grade class at Jerome Horwitz Elementary School. George and Harold were usually responsible kids. Whenever anything bad happened, George and Harold were usually responsible. But don't get the wrong idea about these two. George and Harold were actually very nice boys. No matter what everybody else thought, they were good, sweet, and lovable. Well, okay, maybe they weren't so sweet and lovable, but they were good nonetheless. It's just that George and Harold each had a silly streak a mile long. Usually that silly streak was hard to control. Sometimes it got them into trouble, and once it got them into big, big trouble. But before I can tell you that story, I have to tell you this story. Chapter 2, Treehouse Comics Incorporated. After a hard day of cracking jokes, pulling pranks, and causing mayhem at school, George and Harold liked to rush to the old treehouse in George's backyard. Inside the treehouse were 2 big old fluffy chairs, a table, a cupboard crammed with junk food, and a padlocked crate filled with pencils, pens, and stacks of paper. Now, Harold loved to draw and George loved to make up stories, and together the 2 boys spent hours and hours writing and drawing their very own comic books. Over the years, they'd created hundreds of their own comics, starring dozens of their own superheroes. First there was a dog man, then came Timmy the talking toilet, and who could forget the amazing cow lady? But the all-time greatest superhero they ever made up had to be the amazing Captain Underpants. George came up with the idea. Most superheroes look like they're flying around in their underwear, he said. Well, this guy actually is flying around in his underwear. The 2 boys laughed and laughed. Yeah, said Harold, he could fight with wedgie power. George and Harold spent entire afternoons writing and drawing the comic adventures of Captain Underpants. He was their coolest superhero ever. Luckily for the boys, the secretary at Jerome Horwitz Elementary School was much too busy to keep an eye on the copy machine, so whenever they got a chance, George and Harold would sneak into the office and run off several hundred copies of the latest Captain Underpants adventure. After school, they sold their homemade comics on the playground for 50 cents each. Chapter 3, The Adventures of Captain Underpants. Written by George Beard, cartoons by Harold Hutchins. The Really Cool Adventures of Captain Underpants. Written by George Beard, drawn by Harold Hutchins. It was a time of darkness and despair for planet Earth. Bad guys had taken over the streets, and all of the superheroes in the world were too old to fight evil. Hey! Ha ha! Then along came a new improved extra strength superhero. Tra-lalaaaaa! Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's an egg salad sandwich. No way! I'm Captain Underpants. Captain Underpants was faster than a speeding waistband. Zoom! More powerful than boxer shorts and able to leap tall buildings without getting a wedgie. Tra-la-la! Night and day, Captain Underpants watched over the city, fighting for truth, justice, and all that is pre-shrunk and cottony. Meanwhile, at a nearby elementary school, turn the page. That's it for now. Let's wait to get our copy of the book soon. Stay tuned for more updates and sneak peeks on the upcoming books. See you soon. Signing off for now.